Here's a sneak peek of what your Echo can do that we're going to discuss in this very episode.
Abraham Lincoln was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who served as the 16th president of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865.
Of course, I'm here to listen. What's on your mind about Amazon Echoes?
Had you heard the recent Amazon announcement that they're getting rid of the celebrity voices? What do you think about that?
Yes, I did hear about that. Honestly, I'm a little bummed. I thought it was pretty cool to have Samuel L. Jackson or Shaq's voice coming out of my Echo, but I can also see why they might want to focus on improving the overall functionality of the device rather than just adding celebrity voices. What do you think?
Well, hello, and as you could tell from our prelude today of a few interesting topics we're going to be discussing today, and kind of on a sad note too, in connection with an announcement from Amazon regarding discontinuing of their celebrity voices. Going all the way back to episode 88, we covered that back in 2020-2019 era, and with the Samuel L. Jackson voice. But there's been several voices that have come out since then as well. We're also going to do a little future gazing, prospecting what I think it potentially means, or I hope this will mean here in the near future. But first off, I'd like to welcome our new listeners. Welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program. I'm based here in Southwest Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains in the city of Roanoke. And so it's good to have you all with us. I hope you'll find our podcast educational. We have 5 seasons, over 110,000 listens to our podcast. We've covered all sorts of topics. We try to keep it 5 to 15 minutes long, but sometimes I yammer on and it goes on a little longer, or the topic is just much bigger than I thought it was, maybe to start with. So your patience with me. I do try to keep them relatively nugget size, but you're welcome to look back at our back catalog. We've covered everything from home automation, families, how they could use it as an intercom, children can use it, special children features. We've talked about seniors and caregivers, even using them in senior living homes and things like that. We've talked about amazing accessibility features for those with different disabilities. So we've covered a lot of different things, and we hope to cover many more things in the future as this technology advances. And I think this is going to be an interesting kind of future gazing hopefulness that we're going to cover today, because we do have that sad announcement. But I think there's something maybe positive we can think about. There may be a retooling that Amazon is doing. So we'll get into that and more here in a few moments. But before we get into the core of our podcast, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we will be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again and welcome back to the podcast. As I mentioned earlier, we got a sad announcement from Amazon this week, here at the end of May, beginning of June. Just a really kind of sad announcement about a loss of the new, I guess relatively, going back to 2019, celebrity voices features or skills that were connected with the Amazon Echo. So going all the way back to 2019, the very first celebrity voice that was released on the Amazon Echo may sound kind of familiar to you. It was the Samuel L. Jackson voice, and we demoed that in episode 88, season 3. And it's kind of I don't know what it is, not heart-wrenching, but it definitely is interesting to go back and listen to that episode, because I talk a lot about the COVID pandemic back then, and we were just going to start covering some different skills connected with that. So it's amazing to think back how far that was now. It feels like it was years. I mean, it was years ago, but I mean, it feels like a decade or so ago, a long time ago. And just to remind you, for those who have never heard the celebrity voice, it is still available on my Echo here. So let me demo it to you real quick. If you do have an Echo in hearing distance of me, by the way, I'm going to be saying the A-Lady name. So I don't want to trip your Echo at home by accident or something while you're trying to listen to this. So by all means, feel free to shut its ears off. And then I'll just demo this real quick. You used to have, and the coolest thing probably they added later with the Samuel L. Jackson voice, it may have been why I didn't demo it earlier, except for early 2020, was it was like a skill. So you had to invoke it, like where you'd say, "Hey lady, open WebMD and ask it about Tylenol," or something, right? And you could do that. So you would say, "Hey lady, ask Samuel Jackson, yada, yada, yada." But later they added the wake word functionality with it, so I didn't have to say "Hey lady," I could say "Hey Samuel" or "Hey Sam," right? And it would work. Now it looks like it's currently already disabled on mine. I think the announcement said the first week of June they're going to disable the Samuel Jackson, and some of the other celebrity voices like Shaquille O'Neal and others are going to be disabled, I think the 1st of September or something like that. By all means, feel free to go, and I'll probably post the links in our podcast show notes to The Verge and maybe some other outlets where you can read more about that. So we paid our different individuals, I think for the different voices, some of them were as low as $2.99. I think I got Samuel L. Jackson on sale. Some of them as much as $4.99. But they're going away. And so anyhow, I think there may be a refund option if you read through those articles. But, I feel like I got more than my money is worth in the last couple of years. So let me just, when I demoed that and even going back to it today to look at it, I'm just amazed at the quality of this voice. So let me give you an example. Alexa, ask Sam to Wikipedia Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who served as the 16th president of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Lincoln led the Union through the American Civil War to defend the nation as a constitutional union and succeeded in abolishing slavery, bolstering the federal government.
So as you can hear, it's just a really amazing, natural sounding voice thing that they implemented there. Just really amazing. And they apparently did actually use the actors and celebrities to contribute voice samples and actually train this thing. But it's just amazing how powerful it is. So in that way, it was kind of a premiere of technology we're starting to see today, just how amazing it is. But yeah, that's going to be going away, sadly, all those celebrity voices and that kind of infrastructure that gets towards my future-looking thing, that infrastructure that Amazon had kind of put together there, especially with the wake words and stuff. That was kind of cool, but I think we're going to see that revisited here in the near future. Okay, so that's what's happening, and kind of sad, not the funnest thing, but anywho, so that begs the question, what's going to be happening in the future? Well, I think we have a lot of really good examples to give us an idea, just not of where voice processing is going in the future and making the A-ladies smarter, but also the voices as well. So let me tackle the voices first. So one of the cool things is this advent of AI technology, OpenAI and other AI platforms, and the ability to make now synthesized voices using these AI technologies that sound like other people or just sound like original new voices that are really clear and bright and awesome. Now, Microsoft pioneered some of this, and you'll hear it inside the Edge browser where you can hit the read button, and it's just amazing clarity. Now, it doesn't sound like any particular celebrity or anything, but also Where this is also going is we've seen things like Apple in the last month or so making accessibility announcements. I believe in connection with Global Accessibility Day for those with disabilities, about a new feature on the iPhone for those that maybe due to a disability or disease, a progressive disorder, are going to lose their voice maybe later in life. They'll be able to, with this new feature, hasn't come out yet, will be coming out this fall, train their phone to know their voice and to basically synthesize their voice. And I think as little as 15 minutes of training. And they'll say certain words and stuff at random. That's kind of a security feature, but also for the phone to learn how they say words and pronounce things and their accent. And then it can synthesize that for situations later where they've lost their voice or ability to speak. Maybe if they get a phone call from a family member, they can quickly maybe like do a response like yes, no, can you tell me more? Maybe even type out a message. I don't know, but it'll probably be quick responses, but it'll sound in their voice over to the caller, like their original voice that they perhaps have lost due to this disability. So just kind of really interesting, the quickness of that ability to train one of these things to mimic a voice. So I think that's probably where this is going. Another company, and I'm going to put a sample in here. So you guys heard our little front bumper about what New Vision does in my little segue. Watch as I ran it through this demo software I was trying called VoiceMod, with a new thing they added called AI voices or voice AIs. Anyway, this one was designed to kind of help change your voice and make it sound like James Earl Jones. So I took an audio clip and I ran it through their system and it gave me this back. Check this out.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and
Voice.ai.
Okay, so that gave you a little clip. Now, that obviously probably doesn't sound exactly like James Earl Jones, but this is a 1.0 release. This is a very first kind of like betas of these, and this is just one amongst many voices and celebrities and different individuals it was designed to kind of mimic. But it gives you an idea of what Amazon may be doing, and I think are doing probably in the background, is they're going to retool. Instead of doing this one-off thing here and there and having to sign celebrities and have them come into the office and train voice things, although they sounded really good like Samuel L. Jackson's, I think they're going to probably go to more of a platform model. I hope to goodness that's what they do, where they create a whole storefront, maybe where individual companies can submit AI voices that can operate on their system. Or maybe they'll just open their own storefront with a number of voices that they themselves sell. Maybe they'll acquire a company that has these kind of voices and then allow you to pay for those. And that would eliminate a lot of the royalties, a lot of this other stuff. Potentially, it would change the model a lot, kind of like going from actually playing a particular band to maybe like a cover band, basically. This is an imitation of a different voice. But I think this could really customize and personalize the A-Ladies, the Echo devices, and I think it just would be a much better experience. And ultimately, I think if we meld that with what they were doing with customized wake words, like I used to be able to say, "Hey, Samuel," instead of saying "A-Lady name," I think that could be really, really cool, really cool. Or here's another idea, something that Amazon's been pretty bad about. They added the technology, but the Google Assistant has done a better job at this, although the Google Assistant is kind of teetering, I feel like, on the edge of a cliff where they're gonna retool it and just completely try a new way of doing it, because they're already starting to throw the towel in on a lot of things. But back to my point. On the Google Assistant, if you open up a skill or an app, say WebMD or a Bible skill or whatever, it would automatically change to a different voice, which would give you the impression that you're in an app or a skill, right? You're in something separate than the main system. The A lady from time immemorial did a bad job at that. She would always sound like her regular voice, and then you go ask her about the weather and then forget, hey, no, I'm in the WebMD, app or something like that, and you'd have to exit it. It didn't make that. Now, they added later the ability for the developers to change the voice, but it wasn't mandatory. Per se. And so you kind of had that kind of mixed vibe. But that's another way these customized voices could be used, is you could have maybe different voices for this or that, or think about different voices responding to family members differently. Or if you have children in the home, a child's voice or their favorite cartoon character responds to them. Or, so I mean, the ideas are endless. Or I could have like the HAL 9000 voice, from Space Odyssey or something like that. 2001. So just really cool ideas, or a Star Trek voice or something, or Star Wars computer voice, you start to see the idea. So I hope Amazon is retooling. I think that's why they're shutting down these celebrity voices. I would think they say we need to step back from that, close down this way of doing it to eliminate confusion. We can't do this one-off thing here or there with different celebs. Let's go and create this whole new framework for having AI voices, either that we ourselves sell, or we have a whole suite of developers and app people and AI voice trainer peoples add their own and sell them and create really a marketplace for their system. So I think that's potentially where this is going. Also, that's just the voice, what it sounds like to me. The other end of this is that everybody is probably frantically re-engineering the ability for it to understand me better, right? For the A lady to understand what I'm trying to say. So we have demoed earlier the Chat GPT skills. We demoed that. And the Oracle of Light skill. It took me a second to remember what it was called, the Oracle of Light skill, and things like that. And it's just amazing. Here's another one I want to demo for you real quick. And this is an app on the iPhone called Annie. And it's not so much to hear the voice of Annie, although that's interesting, but the dialogue that's possible is what I want to highlight. So I think there's going to be a really massive sea shift change in multiple fronts here, all happening at the same time. There's going to be a lot of developers inside these companies drinking a lot of Red Bull. So here, let me just demo this conversation for you with Annie, and I think this is where the A-Lady and other voice assistants are going. Okay, so let's give this a try. I'm going to hit the button to call Annie. It's kind of like on a metaphor of like a telephone call.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Hey there. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going so far?
I'm doing pretty good, but I wanted to talk to you about a subject dealing with Amazon Echoes. Do you have a second?
Of course, I'm here to listen. What's on your mind about Amazon Echoes?
Had you heard the recent Amazon announcement that they're getting rid of the celebrity voices? What do you think about that?
Yes, I did hear about that. Honestly, I'm a little bummed. I thought it was pretty cool to have Samuel Jackson or Shaq's voice coming out of my Echo, but I can also see why they might want to focus on improving the overall functionality of the device rather than just adding celebrity voices. What do you think?
I think you're probably right. I hope this is also a move to them creating a new platform on the Amazon Echo that would allow us to have AI voices. I think that would be really neat.
That's an interesting idea. AI voices would definitely be a cool addition to the Amazon Echo. It would be amazing to have a personalized AI voice that could interact with you in a more natural and conversational way. I wonder if that's something Amazon is considering for the future.
So anyway, that gives you a real quick, I just hung up there on Annie, but hopefully gives you a little quick idea of the power of that dialogue. Very similar, maybe more similar. I think it's a better voice coming back to us, but that's not the focus. Really, the ability to have that dialogue and conversation, and the AI engine to interpolate what you're doing. So, in the future, that could make the A-Lady, the Google Assistant, Siri, other devices so much better. So anyway, that's it for me. Just hypothesizing and future peering into the future and hopefulness. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. You're always welcome to reach out to us with your thoughts or suggestions at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys on Facebook or Twitter. Just tell them you're interested in getting a message to David of the Echo Tips podcast, or a thought or a question, and we'd love to hear your feedback. You can also email us at info@goodwillvalleys.com. But until next time, it's time to turn the ears back on your Echo. Start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem, ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Phew! Thanks for listening.